Alright, already back. The girl is sitting amidst the flowers. She has silver hair. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Playing a little bit too much Magic the Gathering. There's a creature called Slivers. They're actually pretty cool, but that's not the point. And wears a sky blue dress. We can hear their voices and laughter from here. How I envy them. Her eyes are red. Albino! No offense. Their shade reminds me of roses. Rose, a type of sweet wine. Huh. After journeying past the pristine lake, up an intricate crystal staircase, standing atop a floating island, and walking amidst the sea of unblemished roses, the young girl is the most stunning vision I've seen yet. Yeah, she is pretty cute. But she's not talking to me. I'm taking a guess she's talking to the roses then. Then farewell. She lets go of the rose she seemed to be speaking to. Knew it! The flower caught by the wind and carried away. Thank you for talking to me, Rosaline. Alright, is she crazy? Or is that specific rose her imaginary friend? And by that I mean, is she calling all the roses Rosaline? You know, like, I can pick up any rose and it can talk to me, sort of crazy. Or is that rose somehow magically protected and it comes to her and she thinks it's her imaginary friend, she starts talking to it. So if it's that's one thing, but she's actually crazy, that's quite another. She stands up and turns around. Gasp! She has noticed me. I don't know what to say to her. How about hi? My name is Irel. She looks surprised. Sir, did you come from the outside? Wow, this really is a prison, isn't it? I suppose so? No, yes I did. I'm confident with my reply. I was sent here with a purpose, and focusing on the purpose keeps me centered. I should introduce myself and apologize for startling her. Wonderful! Kinda creepy. Hey, an achievement. Unlocked. A stranger. What? Not startled then, but please? Tell me something about the outside. So you were either brought here as a really small kid, or you were born here. Either way, that's really depressing. Incredible. Sir, so you're saying that while the sky outside is the same, all the roses have thorns? Correct. Roses without thorns are a rare thing indeed. To say nothing of so many perfect roses all in one place, thorns are not. It's comfortable sitting in the field of roses without thorns. Well, I would have to assume so. I mean, roses are really pretty. Now, if I could have a bush of roses without thorns, I would love them. I mean, I'm not really... I do and I don't have a good green thumb. I mean, it's partly my ADHD and partly my laziness. I tend to forget to water the plants. And yet, they seem to last quite a long time. For instance, quite a while back I had a Venus flytrap. And I watered it like twice. I'm not kidding. I watered it like twice in its entire month of living. And I guess it got its moisture from the ants. I mean, not the ants, but the crickets that I gave it. But, I mean, still. I mean, I literally went out and bought crickets for it. Because, you know, I wanted it to be an inside plant. I didn't want to be outside where it's varying degrees of temperature and whatnot. I mean, I really tried hard to actually give it what it needed, quite frankly. But, I mean, it lived for a month with only 2 times of watering. I mean, the second time probably affected it more than the first time, because the second time I transplanted it from its little pot that I bought it in to a bigger pot, and the bigger pot I actually went out and tried to buy some moss, which is what you were supposed to, peat moss to be exact, which is what you're supposed to do, because peat moss can hold a lot of moisture without it evaporating and without actually using it for itself. And so, you know, and so that's what the Venus flytrap needs, since it's not in its normal habitat. And so I cut up sponges, and I put those little chunks of sponges inside the pot instead of soil. And like at the bottom I put sand and rocks. I put a layer of rocks and a layer of sand, and then and they were like half an inch layer. You know, that's to help give it an extra grip, basically, because I didn't want to give it dirt, which probably was stupid of me, but that's just me. But I mean, you know, and then I put sponges around it, and so that's probably what helped it live longer. But I mean, I'm just surprised it lasted a month, considering I only watered it twice. Well, okay, back to the game. We have been here for a while now. She kept asking me questions about the outside world. The outside. Sometimes when she talks about it, she uses an ancient word, one that I don't know. As far as I know, only old mages use such an archaic language. Archaic? I'm guessing? Yeah, archaic, probably. While answering the girl's questions, I have become more and more curious about her. Oh, I'm already curious about her myself. Who is she? She must be of noble birth, judging by the way she speaks and carries herself. He did say there were princesses in this garden, right? She must be a princess! But experience has taught me that members of the royal family are typically more arrogant than she is. Well, obviously she lived here all her life. She probably is a little bit more humble, because, I mean, if I became royalty all of a sudden, I'm not going to be arrogant about it, quite frankly. I'm probably going to be living my same lifestyle as I am right now, quite frankly. You know, just with a better computer, basically. Seriously. That's probably the only thing that would change. Because, I mean, what's so great about royalty? Why do you have to be different? That's my question. But whatever. I mean, seriously, yeah, sure, you came from royal birth. Whoop-de-freaking-do. You're still a human being. You don't have any special powers or anything. You're just rich. That's all it is. You can afford more than most people. Great. If I was rich or royal, I wouldn't be rich or royal for very long, quite frankly. Well, actually, I probably would be rich for quite a while. Because, I mean, first thing I'll do is I'll put a lot of money into bank account. So like that, I forget what it is, but, you know, like that $5,000 a week for life thing. If I won that, I would actually make a deal with my parents, quite frankly, that, you know, they would get the $5,000 a week for life until they pass, and then I would get it, because I'm younger than them, so I'd probably live longer. But that's not the point. I would make a deal with them that, since we have some bills to pay, let's just put it that way. You know, we have some outstanding credit card bills, which I'm sure lots of people do. I would make a deal with them that, you know, that until those debts are paid, they're getting $5,000 a week. After that, I would get for a month, for 3 weeks basically, I would get $5,000. Then, till they have $10,000. Well, now only 2 weeks. I guess I was thinking like $500 a week. But, so $100,000. Let's just put it that way. It would make more sense then. So yeah, until they get $100,000 in the bank, they get it. Then after I get my 3 weeks of $5,000 a week, they would get $5,000 a week again until they get up to $100,000. After that, the money would continue going back to me. money would be taken out of it to pay the bills. That's what my deal would be, quite frankly. I pick up a rose. A rose without any thorns. Yeah, we've already went over this, mate. Ah. She cries out while jumping up. What is it? I spent all this time hearing about the outside and I completely forgot about the time. Do you have somewhere to be? We are having a rare meeting today. I heard there is something important going on. Me! Probably. Just saying. I'm sorry I have delayed you then. Why do you guys have a rare meeting? That is alright. Thank you for telling me about the outside. She turns to go. Alright, I don't even know your name. Can you tell me? I don't know your name either. Please tell me your name too. I hesitate. Maybe she has heard of me. The scandals, the shame, my failure. Probably not, considering that she knows pretty much absolutely nothing about the outside. I imagine her hating me. The thought of alone is painful. Irel Rez. Irel Rez? She frowns. I wait for her to condemn me. It's a strange name. After bracing myself for censure, I am left speechless and relieved instead. She hasn't heard of me. But it is refreshing. It tastes like the... What? It tastes like the wind? She smiles. My name is Diana. Another breeze picks up some of the rose petals and sends them sprinkling around us as she gives me her name. Here, this rose is for you. Aww. If I can, I'm giving that. Get item, Rose. Everything you need, apparently. Wait, she vanishes into the rose bushes. When did she... 2 letters are in front of me. Are there in front of me? IR. Huh. So that's what that was about. Vera or Zanning? Zanning looks more like a quiet person, if you ask me. Fencing hall. I didn't actually even pay attention to that. Tea party. I can't remember the tea party, quite frankly. But that's going to be for next time, ladies and gentlemen. See you then. The leaves on the tree are a healthy green. The birds are singing as they fly through the branches. And occasionally, a squirrel or raccoon darts into hiding as I draw near. With things such as a secluded place, the wildlife would be like, what the hell is that going on? What the heck is that thing? You know, like, to me, as, like, when they look at me. Because, I mean, think about, like, Jurassic Park. For instance, I forget which movie it was, but I mean, really just any Jurassic Park. Think about, you know, how the dinosaurs were like, what the heck are you? I understand that you're meat, which means you're food, but besides that, what are you? Because, I mean, you know, they sort of play around with us, they sort of investigate. They have no idea what the heck is going on. Like the raptors inside the kitchen, they're like, what is all this stuff? It's so shiny! I wonder if I can eat it. You know, I mean, that's sort of what they look like. At the very beginning, right when they enter the kitchen, they're like, whoa, shiny stuff! And then they're like, oh wait, we're hunting something already. Never mind. But, I mean, if you ladies and gentlemen remember that one scene where there's a little girl and she finds some dinosaurs thinking, you know, oh, they're just little lizards that happen to stand on their back feet. She's like, oh, they're cute. I'm gonna feed them. And I mean, they came running right up to her because they're like, we don't know what this is. We've never seen this thing before. We don't know if it's a threat or if it's food. And that actually kind of was her downfall. You know, feeding them. Because then they automatically associated her with food because it's the first time they've ever seen a human. And like, oh, humans are food. It's like, if any of you watched Shark Week recently, sorry, I have a bit of a cold, but if any of you have seen Shark Week recently, you'll know that more and more shark attacks are happening near harbors and places where, you know, you dock your boat. That fishermen are gutting their fish. We're training the sharks to associate that area with free food. It's our fault. But anyways, I would have expected, you know, the squirrels and raccoons like, what? And, you know, like, maybe a foot. From them, maybe then they might have darted, or they might have stayed around. Probably the squirrels would dart, the raccoons would, like, still don't know. I mean, you know, they're a little bit bigger. They're bigger than a squirrel, so they're gonna obviously be a little, not self-sufficient, but, what am I looking for? They're gonna be less scared, basically. Okay, next one. What a quiet garden. Okay, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. What I normally do with these kind of games, because there's no, like, there's no fighting or anything in them, so, you know, you don't really have much to do besides press enter or click the mouse button. What I normally do is I knit, and I'm literally starting a brand new project. I just finished a blanket that I've been working on for probably 2, maybe 3 years, I think. Closer to 2 years. So, yeah. And I mean, it's not just a combination of my ADHD that takes so long. It's the fact that I'm guessing most people try to do, like, light, blankets. I want a nice, thick blanket that's gonna be sturdy and gonna be preserved well over time, years and years and years, like generations could hand it down, that kind of blanket. So that's why it probably took me so long, but I literally just finished it the other day, earlier this weekend, in fact. So yeah, and I'm actually very glad about it. Probably not gonna make another blanket like it, because, I'll tell you what, if you want to truly understand what I'm talking about, take a piece of paper and simply draw a little, long rectangle. Then at the very bottom, put a diagonal line that hits the bottom line of the rectangle and the side of the one side of the rectangle. And make it somewhat close to the bottom, but not too close. And then you basically keep on doing that, but instead of the bottom line, what you use as the bottom line of the rectangle is the line that you just drew. And what that basically does is, if you were to draw a sword after that, you know, like the blade of a sword after that, it looks like a nice weaved, it makes it look like a weaved handle. And I wanted to try to do that with my blanket. Not a good idea, to say the least. I mean, it doesn't feel bad or anything, it's just, you can't really tell, unless you look really closely at the stitching. So besides that, it was just pretty much pointless. So yeah. Well, time to continue, shall we? I continue to wander aimlessly along the ancient trees until I come to a lake. The water is clear blue and reflects the bright sunlight. A marble path rings the length. I crossed the path and walked down towards the bank. I spotted something down there, closer to the water. Drawing closer, I see that a blue notebook, as well as a pen, have been set on a rock beside the shore. Who left these? One of the princesses? Or perhaps a maid? What should I do with it? See, now this is a tough choice because, you know, I've seen a lot of anime. And, you know, if you ever watched any anime where this happens, you know, the guy always opens the notebook, finds drawings or writings, and always thinks it's really good. You know, he's amazed with what he's seeing. But the owner, which is always a girl, always gets embarrassed. And I mean, me personally, I mean, obviously that's what the open the notebook choice will do. But I mean, me personally, I normally find names on the very front of the cover. So, you know, I'll see that, and if I don't, I just pick it up, take it to some lost and found office, and that's it. So, I mean, I wish there was that option here. But I'm gonna go with the classic. Open the notebook to determine who the owner is. I should determine who this belongs to and attempt to return it. The best way to do that is to read it. That's what I thought. No, it's to open it. And then look at the cover. If there's no name there, just leave it alone. There doesn't seem to be a name in it. Everything is written in calligraphy and the penmanship is beautiful. Speaking of calligraphy, I never really got that. I mean, are you supposed to basically just write fancy letters for the entire story, or is it just the very first letter? You know, like those old time books where it's like the first letter of the entire chapter is a big, intricate little picture of a letter. I never understood that. Because, I mean, the rest of the letters seem perfectly normal. But that's just me. Okay, so we can now get along with the actual story without having to be me pausing the video. Okay, the preface just says, heroes will die, but kings will live. I mean, I guess if you look at the not substandard. You know, what when you think of something that's automatically what you associate it with. You know, cheerleaders are always blonde and dumb, yada yada yada, that kind of stuff. I mean, with that in mind, heroes, yes, they're always going to go into battle. They're going to be the first one in battle. They're always going to take on any challenge. They're always going to try to protect other people's honor as well as their own. But kings are always going to lay back, let other people fight for them. So yes, they probably will live. But, I mean, in reality, there are some smart heroes which assess the situation and mainly don't want to try to die. And then there's also kings that, you know, for instance, what is it? Okay, yep, the Devil's Armor. I'm reading a book right now, The Devil's Armor. Put simply, you know, when everybody thinks of this king, they think of a mean guy, you know, a guy that starves his entire country, yada yada yada, you know, this big, mean king. And yet, when you go into his personal life, he's fighting this one person. I'm not gonna name names or anything, but before he started increasing taxes on his public, he sold almost every single little thing in the castle. I mean, seriously, he has like a 5-person dinner set that just happens to be silver. That's like his fanciest thing in his entire castle. Is his silver 5-person set. All the tapestries, everything is basically gone. He sleeps in a 1-person bed instead of having a, you know, like a king-size bed just for himself. I mean, yeah, sure, he has a lot of servants, but I mean, still, he sold all that stuff off to help finance the war against that person, and then he started taxing people. Whereas most kings would be like, screw that, I'm not even going to sell one thing. I'm going to make the public pay for my war that I want to continue. So, I mean, you know, there's kings like that that would actually go onto the battlefield with their soldiers. And if I don't know why I would ever become king, but if I ever did, for some reason, become king, that's the kind of king I would want to be. Just, quite frankly. That's just who I am. I mean, even if I was a general, that's the kind of general I would be. I'm going to be in the battlefield with my men. I'm not going to make them do something I want to do myself. But that's just me. The handwriting on the first sentence is crisp, and the indentation from the pen on the page is deep. Whoever wrote this felt so passionate about what they were writing that they could barely contain their emotions long enough to pen them. Wow. You know, just made the little text screen a little bit bigger for that. I mean, seriously. It's not that big a deal. But, whatever. My hands begin to tremble as I stare at the words. The words stare back at me accusingly, just as the sightless eyes of my dead men. Again with that? Really? I mean, seriously, it's not his fault. He's not the one who gathered the intelligence. A blustering wind sends a chill down through my spine and drags me out of my memories. This handwriting is beautiful. I gaze at the sky and sigh.
区区庶民也能察觉到它的美妙之处。
Can a peasant truly appreciate the art of calligraphy as well? Wow, thanks a lot, lady. I already don't like this girl. I mean, seriously, I feel like she would, if she didn't know who the king was, she would probably say this to him as well. That cold inquiry came from behind me. Turning, I catch my first glimpse of the one who spoke. Her pale hair falls past her shoulders as she has a gentle face and eyes that are as blue as the lake behind me or as sapphires. Meh. No, I'm not. I fall silent. God damn it. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Put simply, I just stretched the string too far because it's hard. The very first row after you cast on. And I stretched it too far and it broke. So yeah, that's not good at all. Not good at all. I gotta actually quickly do this. Basically get a couple of stitches on to help keep it from unraveling on me. Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. I normally have these things already cast on and stuff. Okay, I'm good. And I'm just gonna add a quick line. There we go. Okay. I fall silent. I have been stripped of my land and titles. I am just a peasant now.
有什么东西
You do not expect me to offer you my name first, do you? I mean, that'll be the polite thing to do, I guess. But then again, I'm not really all into that whole I'm royalty thing. Woo! Kiss my poop, because I happen to be a little bit more royal than you. Woo! Who gives a crap? I mean, seriously, you could be emperor of the gosh darn world for all I care. I'm gonna treat you the same as I am a hobo, quite frankly. My name is Rez. It is true that I'm a peasant, though I once was a baron.
那么，曾经的
So
爱
tell
尔
me,
斯男爵先生，
former Baron Rez,
在你的爵位
were
被
your
剥夺
manners
之后，
stripped from
身为
you
贵族的
along
礼
with
节
your
和
title?
矜持，跟随
Wow,
着爵位一起
asshole.
参演吗？
I'm not the one who left their notebook laying around.
我不记得色兰图的贵族中有谁会做出像您这样失礼的事情。
And it didn't say diary either. Certainly no trouble nobleman would ever be so gauche, I have no idea what that means, as to read a diary that was not his. Give me a second here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Basically all I did was I just wrote down the word gouge, because I want to check out the actual definition, and I'll put it up in this video, what it actually means. But from the context, which is actually a quick way that you can sort of determine the definition of a word, certainly no nobleman would ever be so gauche as to read a diary that was not his. What you're basically going to do is think of other words that you would normally feel would be there. You know, when it comes to noblemen's, Manners. How are they? They are very good, so certainly no true nobleman. That would mean that you're also not going to say they're good manners. You're going to say the opposite of good manners, which is rude or some word like that. Would ever be so rude. So certainly no troubleman would ever be so rude as to read a diary that was not his. That sounds correct to me. So we can infer that Gouch most likely has the same, if not close to, the definition of rude. There's a little tidbit there for you, ladies and gentlemen. Her voice is severe as she rebukes me. Each word clipped. Rebuke basically means defy or, you know, like throw away. I rebuked the trash. I mean, that's kind of redundant, but, you know, I'm just basically trying to explain what rebuked means. Because that's kind of an odd word, too. She doesn't make any attempt to keep her scorn, anger, from showing in her expression. This is actually kind of why I like reading lots of books. Mainly older books. Because, I mean, yes, the newer books are good. I'll admit that. There are some really good newer books. But the older books, they were written in a time where the internet really wasn't around, so, and the TVs weren't so common. You know, all this technology that we have now that we take for granted wasn't really so available. So, more people got enjoyment from, like, being outdoors, playing with toys, and reading, instead of just sitting around watching TV or playing video games. Not that I have anything against that. I personally am guilty of doing that pretty much every day of my life. I'm not really an active person. What can I say? But, I mean, you know, every now and then I try to do a day. Because of my ADHD, I can't really do a day without technology, unfortunately. But I do try to do a day with reduced technology. Like, because, I mean, I literally cannot do a day without technology because my family, we do every day when we eat dinner, sort of as family time, we sit around, eat dinner, and watch TV. So I'm going to have to use technology at that point. I've tried numerous times, actually, to get my dad into reading anything, but the most he'll read is a magazine. That's the closest thing that he'll get to a book. And, I mean, like, I bought him a Star Trek, well, I didn't actually buy him specifically it, but, down at the 7-Eleven near my house, they used to have these, like, 5-pack comic books. And this was when I was just starting to get into comic books. So, but, I mean, it was we just have these random comic books laying around, and we don't want them anymore. Sort of like back issue sort of things. You know, we don't want them anymore, so here, you can have them cheap. And they were cheap, but it was like a random thing. You know, they would show only 2 of the comics. And so it was kind of fun to go out, get them, and see what you got. And one of the things I got happened to be a Star Trek comic book. And, you know, my immediate thought, because I was more into reading then than I am now, like, you know, if I got bored. But, I mean, then again, I couldn't connect to Xbox Live back then because of Charter. Seriously, because of Charter. I mean, you know, I went on the wiki and whatnot, and I did everything that I was supposed to get Xbox Live working. Couldn't get it to work. Called my computer guy and asked, and, you know, he came over as a favor. He couldn't figure it out, and he works exclusively with computers. If anybody could have figured it out, it would have been him. So, anyways, you know, couldn't connect to Xbox Live, so games like that pretty boring easily. I mean, when I used to play Xbox all the time, after school and whatnot, what I would do is I would be on Xbox Live in a party. I don't really like multiplayer games, but so I would be in an Xbox party, talking to my friends, and in the background, and I'll be playing video games, I would be knitting whenever like the loading screens pop up, or doing something else while I'm waiting for it to load. Because I mean, unlike computers, it takes a while for loading screens to actually load, unfortunately. But so yeah, like I would be doing something else while it's loading, but in the background, in the back, I would have my laptop playing music. And back when we had Charter, I didn't have any of that. Well, I mean, I had my music, but I didn't really. Actually, no, I didn't. I didn't have a laptop back then. So yeah. So I mean, you know, I didn't really have anything else. When I got bored of video games, I didn't have anything else besides TV and reading. And when I got bored of TV, I would go play video games. So I went from TV, video games, to reading. And that's how it went. So that's kind of how I know these words. Because those older books, back to the main point here, sorry about that, these older books, they have these words that you would learn from reading books like them. You know, because people had a larger vocabulary back then. Because they read so much. So I mean, you know, if you're little, or it doesn't matter actually what age you are, quite frankly. But you know, try to read at least a book a year, at the very least. And definitely don't. I try to read a book before I go to bed. You know, whenever I'm bored, whenever I'm waiting for something, I'll read a book. I mean, when I was in school, I had an iPod, iTouch. I had the, you know, the online book app, and I downloaded some books from there. And you know, during class when I'm bored, mainly during English, because you know, when English teachers, if you're reading a book, they're like, meh. Well, I mean, sure, he's not paying attention to our lesson, but he's reading, so I mean, it's better than him playing video games or something like that. So you know, they were a little more lax than most teachers on the whole not paying attention thing, at least if you were doing something like that. But yeah, I would be reading a book in class, because obviously this is actually why I don't like school, quite frankly. They go over the stuff that you already know. And I mean, yes, I understand that, you know, they made schools like, they made year-round schools. That way, this doesn't happen. But, I mean, I don't want a year-round school, quite frankly. I mean, I like the idea of having a 2-week weekend. I love that idea, quite frankly. But, I mean, I don't want to go to school on Saturday and Sunday. I just kind of was raised that way, so, you know. But, I mean, when I have a kid, I'm probably gonna put him in a year-round school, frankly, if I can, because, I mean, I know how hard it was for me to go to school at the beginning of the year, or even during the year, you know, going over the same exact stuff again. Like, we've already learned all this stuff. Why do we have to go over it again? Because apparently we lose all our memory during summer. Stupid stuff. But, you know, that's why personally I wish schools would do like a mandatory test at the beginning of the year. See where everybody is, and you know, like, from the lowest, you know, and then you just touch over the stuff that you might need to read. Then you touch over the stuff that we all know 100%, and then you go a little bit more in depth in things that less people are confused about or forget, and then, you know, the more people that need to learn this, you go more in depth. I mean, that's what I would do personally. That's just me. Okay, well, let's continue, shall we? Sorry about that. She must be a princess. I don't get why the stereotype, that's what I was thinking about earlier. You know, about the kings and the heroes. The stereotype. I don't know why the stereotype of a princess is, oh, they're a brat. I mean, yes, they were brought up in royalty, yes, they're probably gonna have servants, yes, yada 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 yada. But it doesn't mean that they have to be. I mean, yes, when I was a kid, my mom stopped, basically what happened when I was age 4, up to age 4 was, whenever I went shopping with my mom, yes meant heck yes, maybe meant yes, and no meant maybe. That's basically how I put it. Well, actually, I put it, yes meant put in the cart, maybe meant yes, and no meant maybe. And, because I mean, she bought me a lot of stuff, and she rarely ever even said no. She rarely said no or maybe so. And even if she did say no, she pretty much meant yes. You know, she, like, when we were getting close to the checkout line, she was like, okay, go ahead and go get it. Go back and get it. And I'll run off, I'll go get it, and I'll bring it back. And she's like, okay, I'll buy it for you this time. And after 4, she's sort of stopped doing that. So now, yes means maybe means no, and no means put it back on the shelf. Is the way I put it now. But I mean, as a kid, I mean, there was times when I took advantage of that, and there were times when I was like, no, I don't actually need this. And then there were times when, I mean, I got into trouble because of that. But, I mean, and in those times I got in trouble, there were 2 different distinct times I remember. There was one where I wanted to get my mom some nail polish, but I didn't have any money. So, maybe being a little kid, I was like, I can stick it in my pocket and I can take it. Now, note to any little kids out there, do not do that. That is stealing, that is bad. And even if you were a little kid, you can still get in trouble for it. Not only by your parents, but by the store itself. And your parents would get in trouble for it as well. And, I mean, the worst case scenario is social services will get involved and they'll say that your parents are unfit to take care of you, which means they're going to take you from your parents, which would really suck. I mean, I've been there where, you know, I think I want different parents. I mean, I'm 21 now, and there are times when, you know, I wish my parents would have done something different. You know, I've seen my friends' parents, and they're more lax, or at least I think they might be more lax, and I'm, like, wishing at that very specific point that, you know, maybe I had them for a parent, and I'm like, but I mean, in the large scheme of things, your parents are your parents, and, I mean, for the most part, obviously there are always exceptions, but for the most part, your parents love you no matter what. I mean, seriously, I mean, look at, like, those CSI shows where, you know, the person gets convicted for murder without a doubt, and the parents are still like, no, he couldn't have done it. They're saying that because they're trying to protect their kid, because they love him. I mean, you know, so, yeah. So, yeah, just remember, no matter what, kids, your parents love you. Just remember that, okay? So, you know, like, if you get on a fight, before you go to bed, tell your parents you love them, because you really don't want the last thing that you remember them hearing is something like you cursing them out, or you saying that you don't love them, saying that you hate them, saying that you wish you would have never been born, stuff like that. You just don't want that on your conscience when they happen to pass. So it's always good just to, even if you didn't have a fight, just tell them, I love you. Like, whenever you get out of the car for school, anything really. Because you never know what might happen. I mean, there was a show about that called 1,000 Ways to Die. Basically saying it's a miracle that we live through each day. And it's true, it is. It quite literally is a miracle that we live through each day. But that's a completely different topic. Not really suited for this kind of video. But anyways, So the other instance, and quite frankly, I still find this funny because I remember doing this, and I remember what else I used to do. And so we were in the mall, and you know, again, me having ADHD and me being a little kid, I got bored easily. My mom would be shopping for clothes for herself or for me, and what I would do is I would go to like the stands where there's a circle of hanging shirts or pants or whatever, and I would push them aside just wide enough that I could get into the middle, and then I would close it, and I would just hide there until because I know my mom was coming that way, and then when she got there, you know, starting to look through, I would pop out, boo, and scared, and I mean, that was fun to me. But one of the times I didn't feel like doing that. I felt like actually hiding and waiting for mom to try to find me. You know, I was thinking, oh, I can play hide and go seek without telling her. Not a good idea. Always tell your parents. No matter what, always tell your parents where you're going, everything. Trust me. I mean, my mom, that wasn't I started doing that. And what ended up happening, actually, was I got bored. I'm not joking, I got bored of hiding, waiting for mom to come find me. I mean, she didn't really notice that much because she knew I was probably in one of those places. So I go up to the cashiers because we were up there earlier doing something, I don't know what, but there was chocolate up there. And I had some change in my pocket because, you know, I was that kind of kid that like, ooh, random coin, I want to pick this up and keep it. You know, I was that kind of kid. So I had a bunch of coins in my pocket and I was trying to buy my mom some chocolate. Well, just because I wanted to, really. You know, I mean, I was always sweet, always thinking about other people, always thinking about my mom. Because whenever we went on like to the mall and she went shopping for stuff, we would always stop by like the pet store, or we would stop by some store that I wanted to go to, even if she had to get back to work or anything really. We would always stop by sort of as like a reward to me for being more or less patient. And you know, that's how I wanted to say thank you, was to give her some candy that I bought myself. But long story short, she couldn't find me, and she freaked out. First thing she did, and I'm not joking here, she told them to shut down the entire place, shut down the entire mall, lock it down until she found me. And they were like, oh man, we can't do that, but we can lock down the store. So they literally locked down the store, and then, you know, over the intercom trying to find me, she's like, Steven, where are you? And she hears that, and I look up like, oh. And I'm still standing at the counter, and then the cashier's like, that's your mom? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, okay, let me just call him and you can have the candy and give it to your mom. So yeah. But back to the story, shall we? Or at least that's how I remember it. My mom remembers it differently, how basically I was trying to get myself some candy. I disagree. I beg your forgiveness, Your Highness. I only wish to identify the owner of this journal and return it.
即使你确认了
Oh,
它
tell
的
me
主
then.
人，
If you learn who it belongs to, how do you plan to
你又
find
准备
it?
如何找到它？
Ask around. I can bring it to the garden's administrator. It shouldn't be left unattended where any stranger might read it.
心怀不轨的
You
人，
mean a stranger such as yourself?
我眼前的这位先生不就是吗？
These are the kind of characters that I wish I could beat up. I'm not joking. I mean, I play games where, you know, you can only fight certain people. Sort of like Pokemon. And, you know, there's always this arrogant person in those kind of games. And speaking of which, I've been recently playing Enchanted Arms. Best way to describe that is a combination between Final Fantasy and Pokemon. You know, like, you have the collection aspect of Pokemon, the battle aspect of Pokemon, but the battle style of Final Fantasy. You know, you have a party, and you have up to 4 people in your party at one time, but then that's the Final Fantasy part, like in the whole battle style, the turn by turn, choose every single person and attack as one team, that sort of thing is the style of fighting. But then the party part is more like Pokemon, where you can have backups for your fighters. And I mean, I like that kind of game actually, but that's kind of besides the fact. And then also there's legendary, well, they call them golems, but basically legendary Pokemon. So yeah, there was basically this rich guy in the game, and in this town called Junktown, and basically, it's like one of those places where they basically excavate for rare items. They're trying to find rare items, and since he's the ruler of the place, he can do whatever he wants. This little kid, like, I don't know, probably under 10 years old, he found a golden flute that summons a legendary golem, apparently. And this rich guy comes up and steals it from him. Threatens him that he'll kill him and his dog if he doesn't hand over the flute. And then he gets pissed off by another character stealing the flute from him. And he just accuses her outright, just because she came in town and just because someone stole it from him at that day. Now, it was her, but still, I mean, it's just, you don't say, oh, this person just happened to come in town, and they are notorious for wanting this item, so they must have stolen it. That's so stupid. In so many different ways, quite frankly. But yeah, I've been playing that game, and I'm very proud of myself, actually. There's, obviously everyone knows about ninjas, but there was this one part after Junk City where you face off these ninjas, and it was really hard because they suicide, quite frankly. It's annoying because they have their suicide thing listed as an attack, so you would think, oh, so they're low on health, they're gonna have to wait till their turn to use this attack on me. No. Okay, you just hit us once, and now we're low on health. Low enough that we need to use this attack. Well, let's pause your attack turn and then let us use our attack. That doesn't make sense to me. And it's not an attack where it's just the front. It's not the first line, the second line, or the third line, and it's not one or two of those lines. It's the entire field. That's just stupid, if you ask me. I wish it wouldn't be like that. At the very least, have it like maybe a 2x3 square, because the entire thing is 3x4 squares. But I just don't agree with that. The other thing I don't agree with is not putting it on the PC. But that's kind of besides the point. I just think it would be really cool to have there's some things in there that, mods, the casino, there is a casino in the game, but that's the easiest way to get money. And, the loading and saving system is just deplorable. You just saved a minute ago, and now you want to reload that save. Well, okay, so you want to load a save. Okay, which device is the save on? Oh, okay, so it's on the device that you just were on, which is what normally would automatically think, because you were just on this device, so honestly you saved it there. Or even, oh, this is the only device that you can save to. Oh, we're automatically going to go there. No, it's like, select your device. I only have one device, and I just saved it there. What device do you think I'm talking about? That's just annoying, quite frankly. Considering the fact that, the only 4 ways to get chips in the casino is golem battles, which you can only do once, which really sucks. Well, you can only do once and earn chips from them. There's bingo, which is annoying because, I mean, it's not like they randomly call numbers or anything. Well, I mean, they do, but it's just... It's not true bingo, quite frankly. And then there's, slots. Yay, slots! Never do slots, by the way. I mean, seriously, like... unless you want to waste your money, don't play slots. Because that's how the casinos make most of their money. You're actually better off going up to a complete stranger, betting him money that, you know, a coin flip will land on a certain side and he's gonna pay, and the possibility of him actually paying up, basically. Over, I believe it was 90%, no, probably not 90, probably like 75% of their income is from slots. Because, I mean, I'm just gonna take a guess here. I'm gonna say that there's 10 icons on one wheel. That's 30 icons. And you have to line up at least 3. So you got a 1 in 10 chance, basically. You have 10% chance that you're gonna win. So yeah, you really don't want to bother with slots. So then and then there's roulette. I mean, the game itself is fine, you know. The two things that bug me is, one, the fact that there's ghosting of it. Like, if you stay on one item too long, the entire game will ghost, basically. So, you know, if you stay in the bar menu too long, that'll ghost into the game, and then if you change the channel, it'll still ghost onto that channel, yada yada yada. And since it's so hard to win on roulette, it ghosts a lot for me, because I want to earn a lot of money real quickly. But and then there's the fact that you can only bet 1,000 chips. I mean, sure, if you put all 1,000 chips on one individual number, then yeah, I mean, that's 36. If you win, that's 36,000 chips that you get. But that's you have a 1 in 36 chance to win, so it's less than 10% basically. So yeah, you're not gonna win. So my strategy is basically get a 1 in 3 chance to win until I get a lot. Well, I do the 1 in 2 chance, a 50% chance to win, and then I basically do. And then once I get enough money, I go for a 33% chance to win, and from there I go to a 45% chance to win, basically. Well, actually, I go for the 33% chance and the 45. Well, actually, probably less than 45, technically. So yeah. So let's continue with the story, shall we? Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But you know, like if it was on the PC, real quick, instead of having to do all that, because I mean, I'm gonna do it anyways, even if it is on PC. But instead of actually doing that, I would just give myself the money and give myself the chips for the prices that I want. That way I don't have to bother going through that entire ordeal. So yeah, back to the story. Your Highness, this is a misunderstanding. Then tell me, former Baron Irelrez, how do you explain your presence here? Easily, I was sent here to prepare the miracle play. One moment. Here is my letter of appointment from the Emperor. From Father? Whoa. Okay, are they all princesses? I know I said this in an earlier video, but I mean, if they're all princesses, I mean, from what I understood, they're basically prisoners here. I mean, why else would you stay here, quite frankly, besides the fact that it's very peaceful and pleasant. But still, I mean, wouldn't you... That other girl didn't even know what the outside looked like, so are also prisoners.
不可有志主事的。
Let me see that. This is a seal. It's good that she's been distracted by my papers because I've been left stunned. She said father instead of his majesty.
好吧，
Well then I accept your explanation for being here, but
但你
You're not
在未经允许的情况下，
excuse,
私自放开一位少女的
but not
影
your
子，
excuse for reading my diary
如
without
此失
me.
礼的举动，你打算怎样弥补
Her？ harsh tone has softened now that she has seen the Emperor's introduction. I didn't mean to offend you. I didn't know that it was yours. I would be happy to make amends in whatever way would please you, Your Highness.
听起来不错呢。
That sounds amendable. She smiles cruelly. I don't like the look of it. Neither do I.
那么，
In that case, Mr. Irel Rez,
麻烦您去死
if you would please kill yourself. I hope that's a joke. What? What a mission this is turning out to be.
您之
You
前
said
不
you
是
would
说
do
只要
whatever
能
it
弥
took
补
to
这个
please
过
me.
错，
If
因为
you
性
were
命
dead,
会做
then
到吗？
nobody would
您看，
but me would
如
know
果您
what
死掉
secrets
的
I
话，
kept within my
这
diaries.
个笔记本的秘
Isn't
密
your
就守
death
住
a
了，
perfect solution?
没有任何的问题。
I mean, you could always cut my tongue at. No, you could cut my tongue. You could have me cut my tongue off and chop off my hands. And so my mouth won't shut. Because then I can write. Or speak it. You could also have me swear to secrecy. On my honor. Because, you know, in these medieval times, it's a very big thing.
怎么了？
Is there something wrong?
有什么困难吗？
I'm sorry, Your Highness, but I am not willing to kill myself for you.
色兰图的贵
Surely
族
you
可
must
不
keep
能
your
出
word
尔
as
反尔
noble
呢。
Ah, silly me.
啊，
I
我
forgot
忘
that
掉
you
了
aren't，nobility anymore.
你已经不是贵
Former
族了。
Baron Irel.
那么的确，即使食言也无所谓。好
I'm
了，
not even gonna say anything about that.
这次只是个小
Well,
小的教
take
训。
this as a valuable
下
lesson
次许
then.
诺之前
From
要
now
好
on,
好想清
think
楚
before you
自己
give
能不能
someone
做
your
到。
word, even if
在
all
女士
you
面前
have
食
left to
言
give
可真是太
is
失
the
礼
word of
了
a。peasant. Gotta calm down.
玛丽安，
She's really irritating me. You may leave now. A maid who I didn't notice approach appears at her side.
让人把这位男爵领出去吧。
Marion?
在，
Yes, mistress?
叫他自己走吧，玛
Lead
丽
this
安。
horse straight out of my forest. Isn't it technically your father's forest?
是，
At once, mistress. I mean, seriously.
艾尔里斯阁下，请随
Follow me,
我来。
please follow me, sir. I know the way.
可是，
But
我们也回去吧，
let me go, Marion.
请记住这一刻。
We should be
曾
getting
经
back
的
to
艾尔
life.
里斯男爵，
是
Of course, mistress.
玛丽安，
Remember your lesson, former Baron Irel Rez? I feel like I should blackmail her, quite frankly. If there's an option to do that, I'm doing it. Because she really irritates me. Looking out across the lake, I sigh deeply. She is certainly not a gentle or light-hearted princess. My future appears to have grown dimmer. I smile bitterly before heading back down the path that will take me out of this forest.